Hello! Welcome back to the library here at Venusian Towers, somewhere in the heart of Harrogate. It's Wednesday. Well, actually, I'm recording this on Tuesday, but it's Wednesday when you're watching this, or it's later than Wednesday. Is it later than Wednesday? Have you not been watching this when it comes out? Anyway, how are you? Nice to talk to you again. It's Wednesday, hopefully, as you're watching this, and it's time to see what's on the rack. And we have got one heck of a rack for you this week. Starting with an issue 1, Edward Great Acheron from Mike Mignola, from the world of Hellboy, this extended Hellboy world I really, really enjoy. Great Mignola art. What more could you possibly want? Really? Well, okay. Yeah, we do have Action Comics, since you ask. Been around now for 1,037 issues, which is not a nice round milestone, but it's a milestone, I guess. As is 50. 50 is a much nicer, rounder number. And that's how long Avengers has been around. Unless you use the old numbering system, in which case it's issue 750 of the Avengers. Either way, they're celebrating by making it a big 80-page giant and then charging you extra for it. Which is... well, I guess it's like saying, bring your own bottle. You can come to the party, but it's going to cost you. So, yeah. It looks good, though. Some great names here. Stories by Jason Aaron. We've got Aaron Kuder, Carlos Pacheco, Ed McGuinness, Xavier Gueron, Alex Sinclair, David Curiel, Matt Hollingsworth, Rachel Rosenberg, David Baldian, and it says here, because I haven't read it, so I don't know if it's true, a special story, however you choose to define special, by Christopher Ruccio, Steve McNiven, and Frank DeMata. So there you go. It's a big, fat thing. There's a lot of comic for your money here. If you like the Avengers, it's an issue of the Avengers. You're bound to like it. Nice to see Shulky. Big fan of Shulky. The thing with the Steam, it's not that clever a trick anymore, boys, but yeah, okay. Batman gets its annual this week. I'm not sure when the big American companies started to follow the British tradition of having their annuals at the end of the year. I'm sure that I remember them as a kid. They were always out in the summer because it always confused me. But hey-ho, there we go. Batman the Detective hits issue 6 of 6. So that series concludes this week. As does Fear State. The final bookend issue of the Fear State saga, Fear State Omega, also on the rack this week. Also on the rack this week, we've got Blade Runner, which continues, as does Buffy the Vampire Slayer, as does Captain Marvel, as does Daredevil. I've been loving Daredevil. This run on Daredevil, I think, has been the one I've enjoyed the most for, well, quite some time. Actually, quite some time. It's been an interesting look at the character of Elektra, for a start. Darkhold continues also with Black Bolt, who is not, frankly, looking well. And Dark Blood continues. Penultimate issue of Dark Blood. This has been a really, truly intriguing and quite shocking in a good way. It was not what I was expecting. Really enjoyed it. It's a perspective I've not come across in comics much before. Doctor Strange continues to die. He's dying in Spider-Man, and he's also dying with the White Wolf, which is a character I'm not that familiar with. Maybe a pick of the week. I will be checking that out. Department of Truth also continues. And another annual. Detective Comics also has its annual out this week. There's a lot of Batman on this rack. It's very Bat heavy. I may have to hang the comics upside down or something. Yeah, nah, maybe not. Another number 1. Doctor Who. Doctor Who has a new comics run. And look. It's the 11th Doctor and the 8th Doctor. Paul McGann makes it into Doctor Who comics. And I, for one, am excited. I really hated the TV movie when it came out. I've softened on it since. I hated it when it came out. But I've always loved Paul McGann's Doctor. I think he's very underused. And Big Finish have given him a bit of a run now. It's nice to see him in the comics too. So, yeah, kind of pleased about that. Probably going to be a pick of the week. Firefly continues. And again, been a very enjoyable run. I think Greg Pak is coming to the end of his run as writer on Firefly now. So interesting to see where that goes. We've also got another biggie. 100-page giant, Gotham City Villains. It's kind of a celebration. Gotham City's been around a long time now, and it's got a lot of weird villains to celebrate. So you might want to consider picking them. It is, like a lot of DC's glossy 100-page giants, quite expensive. It's $7.99. But there is a lot of comic for your money there. It's probably... Well, it's certainly, 3 times as big as a regular comic, and it's less than 3 times as expensive. So, there's that. Hardware. Season 1 continues as Milestone continues its revival. I loved the Milestone universe the first time around, still do. And another number 1 that I am very excited about, and we're nearly sold out on pre-orders on this. So if you want one, seriously, get in touch with us as soon as you see this. We may come down to actually looking at what time the message was sent to decide who gets the last couple that we've got. Okay? We're so low on stock, it's not on the website. So you can't buy it through the website. You're going to have to contact us directly if you want it. We will save it for you, but the last ones we've got are going to go to the first people who ask us for it, because I underordered massively. I did not expect the pre-orders that we've got. My fault, mea culpa, but if I can get more I will. But Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, one of my favourite characters, not just in the Marvel Universe, but anywhere. And of course, she's a big shot now with her own TV show. I know Jeremy Renner's in it, but let's be honest, no one's watching it for Jeremy Renner. We're all watching it for Kate. And this looks great. So, seriously, Facebook, Twitter, email, whatever works, okay, as long as it's got a timestamp, we'll know when it came in. If you want it, shout. Speaking of Hellboy, as we were, not just the wider Hellboy universe, but Hellboy himself is out this week. Second part of The Bones of Giants. Again, featuring that distinctive Mignola artwork. Big fan. Big fan of Mignola. I don't know if that came across. Hellcop 2 out this week. It seems to be quite a long gap between Hellcop 1 and Hellcop 2, but it is finally here, as is the Human Target. And actually, I think we are sold out of this on pre-orders as well. So I'm showing it you. We may not have any left by the time you make it to the shop. If you pre-ordered it, you're fine. But if you didn't, you may have missed it with us. Ask. Again, it's not on the website, so you are going to have to get in touch directly. The Joker continues. He gets an annual. Very interested to see where this goes. Loving the cover art on that. And for once, cover art and interior art sort of match, which is nice. It's got Batgirl in it. I'm clearly going to love it because it's got Batgirl in it. And, it's got Batgirl in it. What's not to love? Justice League Dark also gets an annual. And speaking of the Justice League, it's almost like I did these alphabetically or something, isn't it? Speaking of the Justice League, there's another Justice League miniseries. Never mind Infinity, never mind Last Ride. There's now also Justice League Incarnate. Haven't read it. I will let you know if it's any good. Also not on the website. Also very nearly sold out on pre-orders. King of Spies from Image. I may not make this a pick of the week simply because I may not have any left. And what is the point of tantalising you with making something a pick of the week and then not being able to let you have it? That would seem cruel. I am going to taunt you with some of the artwork though because it looks amazing. It's by Mark Millar and Matteo Scalera. And yeah, I'm intrigued by that. I actually haven't been a massive fan of a lot of Millar's more recent stuff. But this I think might be up my alley. It's not incidentally that Millar's stuff was bad, it just wasn't to my taste. Things that are to my taste. I'm getting good at these segues, aren't I? The last book you'll ever read from Vault, it's issue 4. This has been great. I'm not sure where it's going, but I've really enjoyed the journey. And speaking of journeys I really enjoyed, I absolutely loved the Maniac of New York series from last year. It is proper slasher fiction, which I've never traditionally not enjoyed. but I really enjoyed Maniac of New York, and it's got a sequel. Maniac of New York, The Bronx is Burning. So, you know, I don't know, put the fires out with blood, something. Probably going to be a pick of the week. Watch out for that one. Marauders hits, what are we on now with Marauders? 26 issues into Marauders now. Good lord. And it feels like the first one came out yesterday. The Marvels hits issue 6. We have complete runs of this available if you want to get into it. It's been a really, really good series. It's been a really, really good series. Magic the Gathering has a kind of big thing happening. The Master of Metal. Not read it. Quite likely to be a pick of the week, I think, because I like the look of it. I'll just show you some of the lovely interior art that you'll find. Really nice colouring, really nice palette. Digging it. Back over to Marvel and back to the X-Men, we've got New Mutants. And back over to DC and the annuals. Nightwing's got an annual as well. That's another Bat-adjacent thing happening. Also featuring Jason Todd, which I am here for. I like Jason Todd now. Didn't used to. Once and Future continues. That's at issue 22, which is surprising and cool. Phoenix Song Echo, second issue, out now. Speaking of Bat-adjacent annuals, it really is the week for them. Because Robin gets his annual. And I don't know how I feel about this, because the cliffhanger at the end of the most recent Robin, I'm not sure I want to read another Robin story till that cliffhanger's been resolved. I may have to put that on one side and read it later. Red Sonja gets a photo cover on her holiday special. It is technically December, so I suppose it's not too early now, but I don't want to hear the C word anytime soon, okay? Scumbag continues. As for the Search for Who, this has been a great series so far. Issues 1 and 2 were brilliant. Loving this kind of Chinese gangster thing that's going on. It's a fascinating story. Beautifully told. Very gripping. Very action-packed. Dealing with an aspect of gangster Chinese culture that I was completely unaware existed. So that's quite cool. Speaking of things that are quite cool, Warhammer Sisters of Battle hits issue 4. The Amazing Spider-Man makes it to another round number, issue 80, or issue 881 if you prefer, and I do. The Trial of Magneto continues. We have, I think, a new story arc for Usagi Yojimbo. And again, I'm still not 100% happy with Usagi Yojimbo being in colour, but it is growing on me. I just loved Stan Sakai's beautiful line work. It worked in black and white, it really did. Speaking of things that are black and white, okay, I'm pushing it now, but you know. Venom gets his second issue of his current run. We've got the X-Men hitting issue 5 of their latest run. And flashback to the 90s, because Rob Liefeld is back on X-Force. I don't know how I feel about that, but he is. And there's nothing we can do about it. Then we have the Winter Guard, which is now on issue 4. We have Wonder Girl, who is now on her 5th issue. And finally, we have on the rack another DC annual, but this time it's not Bat adjacent. I love this cover. I loved this cover the instant I saw it first in previews. Wonder Woman. Just take a moment and just look at that cover. You know how I keep saying representation matters? That cover kind of explains why. And that's it for the rack. A few more graphics and trades in this week. Truth and Justice has been collected, as has Shadow Doctor, but this copy is actually reserved because it's been asked for. So I'm going to have to order some more Shadow Doctor. So if you want that one, you're going to have to wait. And Batman Scooby-Doo, which was a great series. Really, really enjoyed it. And nice to have that collected. If you have kids in your life, you really ought to get them Batman Scooby-Doo. And, let's be honest, You're watching a video from a comic shop. You too are a big kid. Yeah, you, I'm looking at you directly. You're a big kid too. Get Batman and Scooby-Doo because it's brilliant. Okay, we have been waffling on now for 15 whole minutes. Probably taken up more of your time than you really wanted to spend. So I'd better let you get back to your day. Have a great one. We will see you here next week, hopefully with a tripod. And yeah, we'll have another rack for you then. Until then, be kind to yourself, be kind to everybody else. Please remember that masks are now compulsory in shops, which is why I'm doing this in my library, because it's my house. I don't have to wear a mask here. I will be wearing one in the shop. I would appreciate it very much if you didn't make me go on at you about it too. Thank you. Stay safe, folks. We'll see you soon.